Hello, it's Wendy from summerbaystudio.com. Today I invite you to follow along with me as I paint this cute little snowman. I think you'll find this a really relaxing time, and you'll learn how to do some painting as well, if that's what you want. And at the end, I'll show you what becomes of these little pieces of artwork that I create and how you can get them too. If you're interested in painting as well, I have a link below that includes the drawing, and you can just download that, trace it onto your watercolor paper, and paint along if you like. Let's begin. Once you have traced your drawing onto your watercolor paper, you'll want to outline it with a permanent black pen with a fine tip. I started by using a Sharpie marker, but found that it wasn't very suitable because the watercolor paper was too absorbent and the pen was too wet. That's when I switched to a different pen that is not so runny. Outline all the lines that you see on the drawing. Keep them nice and fine. It will take you a little while because it's slow work. But that's the nice thing about this kind of artwork. It's kind of meditative, and you can work at it at your leisure, but it absorbs your attention, which is very relaxing. When you have finished outlining the entire drawing, take some time to let it dry thoroughly. This might only take 5 minutes. Then take your kneaded eraser and go over the lines to remove all the pencil. The reason you want to use a kneaded artist eraser, which you can see I'm holding here, is because it doesn't damage the paper and it doesn't leave eraser crumbs. When your drawing is free of all pencil marks, now we can begin to paint. I'm using a size 4 Kolinsky Sable watercolor brush. This is a brand new brush, and it has a really sharp point on it, which you will need. If you don't have a size 4, you may want to start with something smaller because some of the spaces in this little illustration are quite tiny. I'm starting by doing the red spaces, which is the snowman's hat and some of the stripes. The color I'm using is called alizarin crimson, but you can use whatever colors you like. Any red will work, or any other color. So if you prefer to make your snowman's hat and scarf purple and blue, feel free to go ahead and do that. Mix some paint so that you have enough volume to do all of the red spaces. Begin by painting the snowman's hat, the main part of the hat. When you finish that, paint the alternate stripes on the cuff of the hat and the stripes on the scarf in alternating bands. Be sure that the red paint is thoroughly dry before starting to paint with your second color. You can tell if it's dry by holding it to the light. If it doesn't have any shiny spaces, it's usually dry. But I like to also touch it just lightly once I feel that it probably is dry, because if it's cool to the touch, it probably is still damp. So you want it to feel quite dry before you go on to the next color. For my second color, I chose a dark green. This one is called Hooker's Green. It's a nice, vibrant, evergreen color. And I used it for the pom-pom on the snowman's hat and on the alternating colors on the scarf and on the band of the hat. Take your time. Don't rush this. You don't want the colors to spread over each other. So it will take some concentration and a steady hand. In the drawings that I've put in the lesson library for you, where the link is below, you'll notice that I have provided you with snowman pictures in 2 different sizes. So you can do one or both of them if you like. If you don't feel that you have a very steady hand for fine work, you may want to choose the larger one. One tip about using watercolor paper is not to rest your hand on the paper. I keep a little piece of tissue paper always nearby at my table so that I can rest my hand on it rather than on the edge of the paper. The reason for this is the oils in your skin will get in the paper, and while you might not see it right away, as the painting ages, those oily spots will show up. When you're ready, it's now time to paint the snowman's twig arms. I used a color called Raw Umber, which is a nice medium brown. I mixed a little bit of raw sienna into it, but you don't have to. Again, it's up to you. You could use a gray, you could use a paler color, whatever you feel like. The color that I use to paint the carrot nose of the snowman is cadmium red light, which is an orangey color and does a perfect imitation of a carrot. For the background and the shadows on the snowman's side, I used a pale mixture of dark blue and a little bit of violet. To make it darker, you use less water. To make it lighter, you use more water. In the mixture, though, not on the paper. I painted the sky, trying to leave out the little snowflakes. Once you're happy with the results of your shading around the sides of the snowman and on the snowbanks at his feet, allow your paint to dry. See if you're happy. make any changes, and then you're done. I'm so excited about the products I have used my little snowman on. The pretty mugs with the feature colors, with the red handle, red interior, or black. The fun apron. A Christmas tree skirt, and the cutest Christmas stocking ever. I hope you'll take time to visit my shop at summerbaystudio.com and have a look around at all the pretty things. After all, let's just make life pretty. I hope you enjoyed following along with me as I painted my little snowman. And I hope you like the products that this little snowman has now appeared on. You can find them in my store. The link is below. And while you're here, please remember to subscribe to my channel and click on the little bell too, so that you can be notified when I put up another video. If you enjoyed this time, also click the like button. That's the little thumbs up. And I'll see you next time.